What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Q coming at you from the underground bunker, Quinn's Comic Stash. Here with another episode of last week's comics tonight. Did a lot of reading this week. Picked up a fair amount of books. I'm just gonna give you a little review. Just a heads up, spoilers for anybody new to the show or channel. This is a review, so book's been out for about a week. Should have read them, but I get it if you didn't. Things take time. But starting out, we got ShangChi versus the Marvel Universe #3. This book was pretty sweet. I'm enjoying it. This is written by Gene Yang, and Dyke Ruin is doing the interiors on this issue. This is a crossover with Wolverine. It's pretty sweet. They find a new mutant in this issue. It's another member of the of Shang-Chi's clan, so it's a half sister, and she has the mutant ability to control music and turn music into matter. So what she uses this flute and can control the sounds and turn it into manifest it into physical energy. She uses it to do stuff like slay this monster here, which is pretty sweet. There you see her in the bottom corner panel there. Really cool that she ended up being a mutant. At first, the Five Weapon Society was very against her coming on. They were against mutants, and Shang-Chi obviously brings her into the fold. Has a short little battle with Wolverine in which he kind of pretty handily kicks Wolverine's butt. It's pretty good. Wolverine pops up out of nowhere, coming to take his mutant brethren to Krakoa, and she chooses to stay with Shang-Chi at the end of this thing. So it was a pretty sweet introduction to a very cool new character. Enjoying this book a lot. Definitely be hanging on for the ride to see that through. Next up, we got Berserker #4. This is the life history of Keanu Reeves, written by Keanu Reeves and drawn by Ron Garney. This book's pretty freaking awesome, very brutal. Shows Keanu Reeves as this immortal type character that was bestowed upon an ancient tribe about 17,000 BC, and is there to the father has used him kind of just to keep all the other tribes at bay and to allow their tribe to come to prosperity. Well, he is slowly getting his memories back because now he's been used by the government, and they're trying to unlock his DNA, find out why he cannot die, how he regenerates, and things like that. And now he's starting to remember his past, and the therapist that he sees that logs all of his outings and has been trying to crack open his mysteries is going to be sharing some secrets that she has in the next issue. So it's been a fun read. It's pretty cool. I love how Keanu Reeves just kind of leans into all the memes that are out there about him. How there's just cool pictures of an individual that looks just like Keanu Reeves at all these different centuries throughout time. So I love how he's just leaning into that and doing a comic book all about that. It's pretty cool. Next up, we got Better A Bill 3 and 4. This book was fantastic. One of my favorite Marvel titles out. It's sad to see it come to an end. Daniel Warren Johnson does the writing and the pencils on this thing. This book was incredible. Issue 5 was just an all-out battle versus Bill and Surtur, who was the villain at the beginning of one of the Thor movies. If you guys saw that, I think it was Thor Ragnarok. He's fighting this giant demon with this flaming skull, and that's who Bill's fighting in this series. That Surtur is actually responsible for the destruction of Better A Bill's planet, and so he's got an axe to grind. But man, this issue 5, when they just go at it, it's pretty fantastic. Surtur's just a giant mass of a god, and Bill very brilliantly tricks Surtur into coming down to battle him in a mortal size, so Bill has much more of a chance to fight him, and it's pretty sweet. There's this one panel in here. Shout out to Daniel Johnson for putting this in there because it's so cool. Me being an old wrestling mark, I'm a huge fan, And this Bill just literally does a pump handle slam in here for all you wrestling aficionados out there to Surtur. He picks him up with the arm between the legs, flips him over, and just gives him the pump handle slam right through a giant spike on the ground. It's pretty badass. The book's been incredible. That wrapped up with issue 5. Next up, we've got a DC book. This is DC Horror Presents The Conjuring, Lover issue 3. This got my cover of the week, actually. I love this cover by Ryan Brown. I love how he did it, made it look like an old VHS tape there. That's so creepy looking, and anybody that's ever tried to draw a hand knows how difficult they are. And I mean, he just nailed it with this. This is just a creepy cover, and the VHS old digital box there just sells it for me. I love it. So cool. But it's a pretty creepy, haunting story about a young girl who went off to college from a small town, and she's attracted this demon of some sort that's making her kind of freak out. And in this one, her roommate's moving out because at the end of issue 2, she was just standing over her with scissors and being coaxed into trying to kill her. So everywhere she goes, this demon's kind of following her, making her hallucinate and sending these people her way. And it's been pretty creepy. Enjoyed it though. Next up, we got my read of the week. This is James Tynion, Nice House on the Lake, issue 3. Look at that cover. That cover is gorgeous too, man. This is James Tynion and Martinez Bueno. This issue takes one of the characters in the house, Sam, kind of dives into his backstory with Walter. Gives us more of an insight into what kind of person Walter was, how he would develop these very intense emotional relationships with people, would have them for a month or two and then kind of move on. That's how he's acquired all of these individuals to be at this lake house, you know. And Sam here decides to go out on the property, kind of test the limits of the property and the boundaries. Comes across this wild black box of a type place here, and he believes Walter is Corey is watching them from this home base here. So it's a big discovery for the people in the house on the lake. But Sam here kind of is going crazy because a bunch of them are just like, well, let's just chill and kind of ride this thing out a little bit. And Sam's wanting to get to the bottom of it, but it's kind of driving him crazy too. Next up, after a short hiatus from the Heroes Reborn saga, we've got the main Marvel heroes coming back to their monthly titles. Thor. This is a new launch for a new storyline from Donny Cates. This is issue number 15 of Thor, but this is part 1 of a 3-part story called Revelations. And in this story, Thor's showing signs of Mjolnir's showing signs of betrayal to Thor. He's kind of attacking on his own. Earlier on in the issue, Mjolnir's kind of just like throws himself on top of Thor's chest and he can't get it off, which is kind of hilarious. And Loki has to come over and get Mjolnir off. And it seems like Mjolnir might be a little jealous that Thor's not quite the warrior that he used to be now that he's king of Asgard. So we'll see where this goes. But it was a fantastic story. Donny Cates, Michelle Bandini is the guest artist on this issue. They did a fantastic job. Interior's beautiful, and can't wait to see where that goes next. Next up, we got Lasher. Honestly, this is a cover buy for me. Just thought this cover was super sweet. It's written by Clay Chapman and Chris Moneyham, and Daniel Bayruth are doing the interior arts. Honestly, I couldn't tell you much about this. I jumped in on issue 4 here of Extreme Carnage. I haven't been following this series. So that's an F on my part for not picking up all the other issues. But I just love the cover. It's a new symbiote character, so I picked it up. And it was pretty cool. Lasher is a symbiote that kind of took on this old man, and Carnage was talking to him, promising him all these memories as an old man with Alzheimer's who could not remember his his past life and loved ones. And when he gets the symbiote, then Carnage is able to talk to him through it and just kind of lures him into doing these atrocious things and killing for him, promising him memories. And then you end up with, I guess this is the birth of the next evolution of Scream. And she's now called Silence. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Scream and how now she is turned into Silence, but man, it's a gorgeous page there. It's fantastic. Got Flash Thompson back in the fold there as Agent Venom. And I mean, it was a fun read, but not having read the issues before it, I was slightly lost in that. Not really planning on picking up all the other Extreme Carnage issues either. Next up, we got Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. Love these miniseries, little anthology stories, and they just let artists just tell these wild tales of the characters in these books. The Carnage one was great. Wolverine was great. You know the Deadpool one's going to be great. Very first story, none other than Tom Taylor, who's been killing it on in DC over there on Nightwing. If you haven't been reading that, I highly suggest you pick it up. But he gets the first crack at the story here in Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. It's pretty hilarious. The story that I really enjoyed was the third story here, Born in the, if you can say that, USZORSUSR, and it's kind of hilarious. It's like James Stocco wrote and illustrated the last story in here, and it's pretty sweet. But it's a story with Omega Red, and he's kind of cleaved out this section of Canada to be his own new USSR type planet, or not planet, but nation. Yeah, so Omega Red trying to form his own nation, and Deadpool shows up, and it's hilarious. You got to read it. It's very enjoyable, though. Highly recommend it. You guys check it out. Next up, we got another Marvel book, Sinister War #2. This is the Mark Bagley connecting cover. Getting them primarily for the connecting covers. These are going to be sweet once you have all of them together. Nick Spencer and Ed Brisson. Didn't like #2 nearly as much as I cared for #1. Issue 1 was cool. I had Doctor Strange and Mephisto. It was kind of hinting at what happened in Brand New Day and kind of tying up some of that stuff. And then issue 2 fell kind of flat for me. It's got Kindred in it, so it's kind of just tying in with all the stuff that's been going on in Amazing Spider-Man. And he battles, 5 different teams of 6 in this. Let's see, Spidey gets attacked by the Wild Pack, the Sinister Syndicate, and superior foes of Spider-Man. Also, we got Vulture's Savage 6 and Doc Ock's Sinister 6. So that's like 30 villains in this. So it's a madhouse. It's pretty cool. There's a lot going on. But I really enjoyed issue 1 a lot more than 2. 2 felt kind of flat for me. Next up, we got Image book, The Me You Love in the Dark. This is a new Scotty Nguyen title. This book's pretty sweet. I enjoyed it. It's about the artist who moves into a haunted house looking for inspiration and such, and ends up connecting with this ghost. And this ghost kind of helps her, cleans up the house for her, pours her some wine, and she doesn't really know what to think of it. But I like the way it was. It's a quick read. The art's done by George Corona, and it's really fun book. I'm going to continue it, see where it takes us. Well, next up, we got the Immortal Hulk #49. This series is coming to an end with issue 50, so that's why I jumped on it. I read this title up until about issue 35, 36, and then it got pretty far out there. But I wanted to close it out, so I'm picking up 49 and 50. I couldn't tell you what the hell's going on right now. It's a bad place to pick it up. I just wanted to read the end. Soon Donny Cates is going to be coming to Hulk. That's going to throw some new juice in it. And but I am curious to see how Al Ewing ties this thing together and ends in #50. So that's what I picked up 49 for. Next up, Geiger #5. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. This is pretty cool. This gives us a little more info into our hero here. He was trying to help these kids get to a safe place after leaving Las Vegas and traversing the wasteland that is Nevada and stuff. Now here you get a little more information as to what's going on with the rest of the outside world. There are different ruling societies throughout the U.S. and U.S. military is part of that, and they kind of come across the kids, rescue the kids, take Geiger, and they're going to incorporate the girl, but then they say that her younger brother is sick with a type of leukemia, so they were going to euthanize him. The girl sister obviously has a problem with that, makes an escape. Geiger helps him get out of there, and it was pretty cool. Again, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank killing it with this. Love Geiger, love the character, love the two-headed radiated dog. It's fantastic. So definitely be continuing to check that out. Next up, this is kind of a cover buy, but ended up really enjoying it. This is Joker Puzzle Box #1. Picked it up because it's Chip Zdarsky, who I'm a huge fan of his writing. Didn't realize he's a fantastic artist as well, so I'm doing the cover, so picked this up. Matt Rosenberg is writing this. This is a story. All the villains, Batman's entire rogues gallery was throwing a party for Joker for some reason, and the Riddler ends up getting killed. And there's a big seize on the place where it's throwing the party. All the villains get arrested, including the Joker, and they're just, Commissioner Gordon is questioning the Joker about what happened to the Riddler and such. So that's where this thing takes off. Last but not least, for my reads of the week, you got X-Men #1, 2. I kind of slept on this a little bit, and I kind of still am sleeping on it, honestly. Didn't really care for it all that much. I will say Pepe Larraz is an awesome artist, and I really do enjoy the artwork on the inside of the book. The book is very cool. I'm not a big fan of the team, but as you can see, the artwork's awesome. I like the costumes that most of the characters are in. Pretty classic rogue there, the yellow and green with the black bomber jacket. Jean Grey looks awesome as Marvel Girl. But I just want to see some classic X-Men villains. Every issue's got to be these new generic alien or this, that, or the other, and I just want the X-Men to be battling people that I know. I kind of miss that. Don't love the team. We got Polaris, Sync, X23, Sunfire, who they've hardly acknowledged in the first 2 issues so far. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'll probably pick up #3. The art is great, though. We got the variant for issue 2 here. Matthew Wilson. Everybody that remembers the Jim Lee X-Men trading card set from the 90s. I love how they're doing that trade dress. But even sells me even more on them is the back. They even have the stats. That's what I used to love about these trading cards, for the stats and the strength scale and stuff that they put on the back, and a little info and history, fun facts about the character. So I love how they're doing that with these variants. I'll probably pick up these variants just to have a set of those. They're super cool. They're going to be coming out with a bunch of different books. So that's it as far as what I read this week. As you can tell, I was pretty busy over the weekend. Read a lot of books. Enjoyed the majority of them, so most of these are books that I'll be revisiting, following through on. And quick heads up on the shop. Things are moving forward very quickly. I had a meeting with the gentleman on the build out for the facility that we're looking at. It looks like things are going to be going pretty well there. So I'm going to be talking to the owner of the property and hopefully get a contract together and start moving forward with this thing. So hopefully be in that shop before the end of the year. That puts me a good 6 months ahead of schedule, so I'm super stoked about that. Anybody out there, thanks for watching. Would appreciate some comments. Hit me up. Let me know what you guys are reading. Let me know what you think of the books y'all are reading. Let's keep this conversation going, and we'll talk again soon. All right, deuces.